Yeah, I wanted to talk about an issue that I had with atheists or just people that question a fair bit. It's because I have beliefs, and I've always had beliefs about different things, including religion, obviously, because I grew up in a religious household.
Right.
But I've had my doubts, of course. I've had maybe even an atheist phase. I don't know if I can call it that. But the main thing is that I feel happy when I think about a God or a caring figure, something like that, even if it doesn't have to be related to my religion. I'm a Muslim, by the way. I just like knowing that someone is there and that someone cares. And when I keep getting asked by other people that, oh, can you back it up? Can you tell me why I should care about what you feel or what there is or what there isn't? Like, it kind of hurts.
Why do you think it hurts?
Because it's like if someone tells me that, oh, like, why should I care about your beliefs with your mother? Like, I'm trying to share these things with them. And even when I'm not, like, if they know I'm religious, it's like, why do you believe this? Why do you, do you know about all the bad things that come with your religion? Why can you not just separate this from your God? And I'm just a little confused and a little hurt.
Yeah, well, Kahuzan, so a few things. First,
yeah.
A religion can do horrible, horrible things and still be true, right? So that's kind of aside from the point. If you're having a moral argument or if you're the one saying, oh, well, religions do great things, then that might come up and you could have that conversation. But the question about whether or not it's true, and it sounds like at the core, please let me know if I've got this wrong. It sounds like at the core you're wondering why atheists would ask you so many questions that you kind of equate questioning your beliefs as, questioning you as a human or your intelligence or ability to understand.
Maybe not my intelligence, because I've tried to back it up before I used to go with things that there's science in the Quran, and I gave up on that. I've given up on a lot of, there was one called Kalam cosmological argument. I gave up on that one as well because I could see that there were flaws in it. So it's become really hard for me to justify it that way. But what I can justify it is with my feelings. At least that's what I think, and that's what a lot of other people who believe think. So why is that a problem to people? It feels like they're trying to almost convert me to their side.
Okay.
When I'm already happy.
Well, so I guess I've got two things. One is another question, and the funny thing is you're calling and saying, how come they're asking so many questions? So I feel kind of bad. So I maybe I can share a bit about myself, and that can help contextualize it, yeah? So Socratic questioning. Did you ever take a philosophy class?
Yes. I know a little bit about the Socratic method. Not much, though.
Okay. So, when, you get a child that's 2-3 years old and they learn why, and that becomes their new favorite word, why?
Yeah,
why is that?
Well,
right? And it just goes back and back and back, right? It's almost like that. You keep asking why. And the reason you do that is because eventually you hit a hard point and you start to wonder why you think about things a certain way. Right. And what that is it's not the issue anymore. Now it's the actual tools that you're using to understand things. It's your epistemology. Right. And there are times when we explore our epistemology and find that some tools are flawed and some aren't. Talking about it in religion might not be the best place for you to see that difference because you're tackling a bunch of things, but you can use those epistemic questions in other things in your life that maybe you're not as attached to, right? And you can go, okay, well, how come it goes like this? Yeah.
I try to be a better person when it comes to really hot topic debates like abortion, I don't know, gun control, even though that doesn't affect me here. I enjoy having these discussions, but sometimes it's I don't like using, but I don't know, triggered, offended, and it doesn't go so well because then I lose my cool and then everyone starts, not everyone, maybe... Sorry, this is a bit hard.
That's okay. I honestly, I'm really empathizing here because is it that kind of gut feeling? It's kind of in the pit of your stomach.
that's what's there. And I want to know why that isn't enough for someone else. I'm sure there's some beliefs that they have. Maybe they feel like they're the smartest person in the room. That might not be, like they say, objectively true, but they believe it and they feel good believing it. So why can't I have these beliefs and not be subjected to, hey, question them, hey, change them?
Yeah. So a couple things, and I'm actually really excited to get to share it because none of this is an attack. This is me kind of sharing about myself and what I've learned from people around me, right? So Socrates called that feeling, that gut feeling, that bad feeling when you're questioning whether or not you even know something, right? It's called aporia. And it's aporia. And it's like, it's an existential pain. It hurts. And on trial, he compared himself to a gadfly, saying that he is causing this pain to the horse that is Athens to cause the horse to move in the right direction, right? And then later on, Martin Luther King, when he was in Birmingham prison, compared himself to that gadfly as well, right? Bringing things up that made people feel uncomfortable, because they needed to face a truth, right? They needed to question what was going on around them. That pain, there are different ways that you can approach it. And I've got to tell you, man, every time I get that feeling, that pain, I've got to remind myself, holy moly, I could be wrong. And for me, I want to know as many true things as I can and as few false things as I can. So if I learn that I'm wrong.
Comparing truth to happiness, though, like what if the truth makes you unhappy?
I'd still rather have the truth.
Even if you'd be clinically depressed?
I am clinically depressed.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
Me too. It's a really shitty club. But I'd rather have an ugly truth than a pretty lie. And I've got to tell you,
why?
Even in my depression, this is a wonderful, amazing, beautiful world. We don't need to add any other framework around it, whether, that to make it fluffier or shinier or anything like that. It's nice over here. It's not what you think.
I don't question that. Like there's so many good atheists out there, just the same way there's so many good religious people. But if this religion, even if it is a delusion, which I don't want to accept, that if it makes people happier, if it makes people get up in the morning, if it makes them get the energy to get out of bed and work and provide for their family, then why not? Just leave them be.
Well,
if they go about their lives believing that.
Couple things. I hear what you're saying, and I've had this kind of conversation with family members, and so this strikes close to home. So you get to make the choice, right? Whether or not you want to know true things only, and follow the evidence where it lies, or try and stick with what makes you feel comfortable. I think there are a lot of arguments that are in favor of searching for truth. On top of that, let's say here's an example. Let's say would it make you feel good if I told you that you won the lottery?
Yeah, but I just recently studied that people aren't too happy with winning the lottery 6 months later. So maybe not so much, but initially, yeah.
Well, replace it with amazing scenario X, right? You just found out that you are the single heir to a amazing country, whatever.
I love it.
Yeah. So how long would you hold on to that, even if it wasn't true? Like, would you want people to tell you the truth, or would you want to, live your life as though that were true, quit your job, move out there, at some point?
Well, practically, it would make a difference, right? Like if I were told that, I don't know, in 20 years I'd receive the inheritance and I'd keep looking forward to those 20 years, and then maybe I died before the 20-year mark hit, at least I was happy knowing that, it's there, and like that made me comfortable.
All the way up until you made promises, you can say, hey, I'm getting a loan and I can use the inheritance as collateral.
Then, practically it'd start killing me. So maybe not. So, I would prefer the truth there.
So when it comes to religion, are there any practical downsides that you can think of?
If you're a fanatic, or if you of course we hear about ISIS and we hear about terrorists, and of course there's that, and not even just those. Like the population of countries like Pakistan, like other Muslim-dominated countries, like they have some really interesting views about LGBTQ and other like abortion-related cases where they're pretty strict on it. So that does discriminate, and it might have something to do with religion, but it's not everyone.
I'm not saying it's everyone. But there are people that we should be looking out for. I'm less worried about the bigot in Florida and much more worried about their child who's trying to survive until they can get out. Right? We are propping those kinds of things up, and we're giving them allowance. And the fact is, we don't need an excuse to be good people. We can just be good people. And by the way, once you find out that what you believe isn't true, you can't make yourself believe it again. You can't put that genie back in the bottle. You can't unring the bell. You can lie to yourself.
Like yeah, maybe that's what I'm doing, but it sure doesn't feel like it. It's like like I said, I have had maybe an atheist phase, but it's always like I want to go back to the comfort I had when I felt like someone was there. And even when I was going through that phase, it was like someone's there, but I might be actively blocking him.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry if it's a really confusing call or something.
Dude, that path is one that I know that I've traveled, and a lot of people who've called in and written in have traveled that path as well. It's scary. And where you go from there is ultimately going to be up to you. The best that we can do is try and give you the best tools that we can. I want you to live a happy, fulfilled life, and I want you to know as many true things about the world as possible. And when you get that nasty feeling in the pit of your stomach, just remember that that is what eureka feels like. It's uncomfortable.
That's an interesting way to put it, yeah.
It's uncomfortable. It hurts. But that's when you get to go, oh, crap, I have something to learn. And because of that, because we were able to admit, you know what, I don't know this, instead of holding on to the comfortable lie, that's how we moved forward. That's how we moved our society forward. That's how we get the technology that we have, and we're able to live in this amazing time. I mean, the fact that people have embraced their ignorance and said, oh my gosh, I don't know this. I want to learn. I want to figure it out. That's what makes me so jealous of the next 5 generations, 10 generations, because I'm not going to live long enough to see the amazing things we're going to do.
Yeah, we're not going to space, and we're, I don't know, too far in to explore the seas and that meme. So,
well, maybe in our lifetimes, but maybe not in the future. It's exciting, man. But you don't get there when you stop trying to look for answers. There's nothing wrong with looking. As far as people asking you those questions,
that's I'm concerned.
For people that I know, and in my experience, it has come from a well-meaning place to try and get you to question. And as far as my worldview is concerned, I think there's nothing wrong with questioning everything, right?
Okay.
But what you need to do is you need to set those boundaries for yourself that you feel comfortable in. And if those people are saying, hey, I want to talk about religion with you, and you're like, I'm kind of done today, you're allowed to be done. Mm-hmm. Say, hey, I care about you. I want to have conversations with you, but sometimes I get overtaxed at this point. So maybe we can talk about this over coffee, or we can say maybe we could talk about this for half an hour whenever we talk about this. But then we set the timer, and when we're done, we can move forward and do other things.
Often.
Right?
Yeah, but I think you're right. I should set up more boundaries, maybe be a bit more stern about setting up the boundaries rather than about my religion.
And you know what? You can point them to this show, and you can say, I talked to Eric, and then give him the timestamp.
Okay.
All right?
I'll do that. Yeah.
Kazan's friends.
That's kind of why I called as well, kind of a cheat sheet. Hey, I got some information from
Yeah, Kazan's friends. Yeah. It's awesome that you're wanting to work with and talk to him, but it takes a long time for people to move through and epistemically change. And it sounds like he's absolutely willing to continue to engage, but we've got to learn that friendships are more than just talking about a single topic. It's about going out, it's having fun, it's enjoying each other. And we can still do that without having to agree with everything. So
Yeah.
I hope that helps, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, and thanks. And I'm sorry again to hear about your clinical depression. I hope I hope you're getting better.
Oh, well, you know what? It's a diagnosis that I think I'm going to have for the rest of my life, and it's okay because my identity is not my illness. It's a part of me that I live with, and with medication and therapy, I am able to live a fulfilled life the best that I can. I just want to be able to talk about it so that more people don't feel so stigmatized about it, because it's just something that we deal with. We move forward, and that's all right.
Yeah, that sounds like a good cause, and thank you for taking my call.
Hey, thank you. Take care.